I don't know what's going on. What's up? It's me, June 3rd, 2018. Drake still hasn't responded, so I think it's pretty much safe to say that Pusha T might have pushed too hard. Every time I do one of these, it feels like I haven't done one in a long time. And then I look at my channel and it's like, yo, you did one of these like just a few weeks ago. But whatever. I'm here to give you my songs playlists. The songs that I've been listening to for the past couple weeks. I know we're a little bit backed up right now, but the first thing I guess I wanted to start off with is something that people have been asking me about since last week, which I'm sorry for, is A$AP Rocky's Testing album. Now, with this album, it's very difficult to listen to an A$AP Rocky album for me. And I don't know why. But this time when I listened to his album, I think I figured it out. I'm always having a difficult time listening to A$AP Rocky's music because the way he carries himself in the real world, like if you watch his interviews, I feel like it's the same way he tends to carry himself in his music. A laid-back personality that doesn't really have that much to offer to the world, just here to give a vibe. And I get that, right? His earlier projects were filled with this atmospheric and drugged out music that most of us seem to enjoy. So for me, that music just trickled off and trickled off and trickled off as he kept rapping and releasing more music. I just felt like his output got worse. And this project is essentially what that is. It's testing. I feel like it's A$AP Rocky testing the waters. I feel like it's him testing what he's capable of as far as an artist, right? Because we know he's not dominant like as an MC, as a lyricist, as a rapper. I don't really expect him to be the strongest, but I didn't really feel or expect to have this much of a lack of interest in his next body of work. I thought I was going to be so excited, but when it dropped, I didn't even want to listen to it. Then when I finally did, it took me 3-4 days to finish the album. And I think this may be due to the fact, like I said, that we hold Rocky to the standard in music that he is in fashion. Rocky has a perception of success. So I think a lot of us view him as much bigger or much larger than he really is. I think he sold like 74,000, 75,000 copies first week, which, don't get me wrong, that's not bad, but we've got lesser known artists, more independent acts that are outselling that by a large margin. And just for me personally, for Rocky to be out in the game so long, I would expect him to blow that out of the water. I expect Rocky to be doing like Logic numbers because he's been in the game that long. I want you to ask yourself a serious question here. When has Rocky ever dominated a feature with an artist who we didn't already view as lyrically garbage? Give me one. He had the record with Cardi B and G-Eazy, two rappers that most people know. Cardi B is not the most lyrical, she's not the brightest rapper, and most people look at G-Eazy like he's one of the biggest cornballs in music right now. Same thing with Playboy Cardi, Famous Dex. Rocky has done music with these artists, or that might have been Rich the Kid. Rocky's done music with these artists, but he's always the most preferred. I want to know when we've listened to a track with A$AP Rocky when he wasn't the preferred artist. And I'm not talking about back when he did No Problems or Problems with 2 Chainz and Drake and Kendrick, all of them. I'm not talking about that. As of late, I feel like Rocky's been the one who's dominated the features because no one else on the track has really given him an entertaining challenge. When he's on with A$AP Ferg, I'm like, yo. When they did East Coast Remix, I was like, yo, this is crazy, but Ferg had the charisma. I'm not feeling the album like that, and I think it's because I look at Rocky as a person who doesn't have that much to offer me musically when he's not trying to deliver this druggy vibe. Like when he's not doing that, I don't feel it. I don't. And I feel like this album where he's trying to experiment a little bit more, where he's trying to test the waters, where he's trying to see where he can go artistically, I just feel like he has so little to offer to the tracks that he's trying to experiment with. It just comes off as music with Rocky. It's just a bunch of sounds with Rocky. It just doesn't challenge anything. It's just kind of blah. And I think a lot more people are upset because they look at Rocky as a success in fashion. And so I think maybe they expect him to be a success in rap, but I don't think he's entertaining as a rapper. I think he's way more entertaining as a person. It's good to be laid back if you're just being a person it's not so good to be that same laid back character if you're trying to be, or if you're trying to make interesting music. And that's just how he came off to me on Testing. I didn't really like the project. I'm sorry. You all know how I felt about Kanye on his Ye project. I thought it was a pretty decent work, a pretty decent listen. I thought he went into most of the details that I would, as a person who follows some of Kanye's antics and his music, as a person who follows that, I think he covered most of what he needed to on that album. I didn't really see that much of an issue with it other than a couple lines and just a lack of adventure from Kanye, in my opinion. But I still feel like he tackled what he knew. He tackled some things that I feel like people listening to this album would like for him to tackle. Still disagree with his opinions and his views, but that has no impact on how I viewed or listened to or experienced his music or experienced him musically. So I think it was a decent listen. I think it was a decent project. Nothing too crazy or over the top. I know Kanye fans are really blowing this out of proportion. Like, this is the best thing he's ever done. It's not. This isn't the first time he's been personal. This isn't the first time that he's talked about things that are going on in his life. This isn't the first time. So I don't know why people are freaking out and blowing things up and crying. I don't know why they're doing it. I don't. I'm not dismissing those emotions either. I just don't feel them. Mac Miller also dropped 3 singles. I think the one that I liked the most out of those singles, one was a little bit more laid back and jazzy. Another one was a little bit more groovy. But the one that I think I liked the most is probably the one that has that violin, that banger. It's kind of like that. The more and more I kept listening to it, the worse it got. But it's still pretty good. It was amazing when I first heard it. When I heard the violin peak in the beginning, I was like, oh my God, he's really dunna. And then I was like, oh, and then the bass drops and then he starts rapping and Mac Miller has this vibe about him. He's got this laid back kind of vibe, but he's interesting. He's an interesting person to listen to me. It's just the more and more you listen to this track, the less and less interest you get out of it because it's like he's rapping in circles, like he's really not going anywhere at the end of the day. But I think it's okay. I think I like it more so because of the instrumental, the violin. So if you like Mac Miller, you like that experimentation with real instruments, go give it a try. Denzel Curry dropped a new single, Percs. Great, still like it. It's him going off on the industry and the rap game and saying how he's going to make a name and a place for himself without following the other littles, without following the antics of what is going to eventually become popular or what already has become popular in rap, which is talk about lean, talk about drugs, be a fake rapper, talk about how you came from the dirt even if you didn't. Denzel Curry is basically saying that he's going to go against all those things. He's not going to become another statistic. He's not going to become a part of how people normally get into the rap game. He's going to do his own thing. And that's what he's rapping about. And I like Denzel Curry for being that, being an independent sound, being an independent mind in a world where everything is just recycled and reused and rehashed over and over and over again. And it definitely sounds like a video game instrumental when you're listening to it. Pusha T dropped Daytona. Very good album to me. I enjoyed most of it thoroughly. Pusha T doesn't stray away from what he normally does. He's always been a rapper who's been consistent in subject and in song topic, which is to be about drugs, the streets. And if you want to go to a rapper that's been so consistent and hasn't really changed up or followed trends in order to make their music more popular, Pusha T is a good place to go. With this new project, he proves that he's still the dominant force when it comes to rapping about the streets. There are a lot of artists like that, but you're probably never going to hear Pusha T have radio hits because his subject matter is just so raw and to the point, and his delivery is so it's like a knife going in you. That's his delivery. It's like, you gotta pay attention to me. You gotta hear what I'm saying. Even if it's not the greatest or the most new thing I've ever said in my entire career, you gotta hear it because it's coming from me. Kanye producing it, plus Pusha T's amazing delivery. Tie that into his diss to Drake. And the more I listen to Drake's single, the one he released, not I'm upset, that's trash. The one I'm talking about is his Duppy freestyle. The more and more I listen to that, the more and more I'm like, this is the kind of Drake that we need. Like, we need the Drake that's going to be upset. Oh, damn, I didn't mean that. He needs to be angry. I'm really unnecessarily, unintentionally quoting both of them by saying what I just said, but Drake needs that push. God, you can't say anything without it directly tying to their beef right now. Drake needs the motivation to be better. because for a long time he's been stagnant, and it shows up in his music. I feel like the more and more Drake is pushed, the more good music that we could probably get out of him. Because Duppy Freestyle was not bad. I just thought it was a weak diss to Pusha because there's nothing in there that's that poignant. Shouts out to Ski Mask the Slump God for releasing Beware the Book of Eli. Very cool, flow infested or flow dominant work, brain. An album or an EP or mixtape that's dominated by Ski Mask. He has some of the biggest presence in the rap game when it comes to being able to like be the star of his own tracks. And in a day and age where production is what carries most of these singles and most of these songs, he still has such a strong presence, being as young as he is and just having fun with it, but still being a good technical rapper. Please go to that. Oh God, I'm dying. Please go to that mixtape if you just want to hear something fresh. If you want to hear an artist that's interesting, that doesn't take themselves too seriously, go to Ski Mask. He made a pretty good, he put out a pretty good mixtape. And last but not least, Kyle with Games, talking about how he wants the satisfaction of a video game without actually having to be in one. I love the instrumental. I like the intro with Yachty. This whole thing is great. It's getting dark, so I'm going to end the video right now because my light's gone. Thank you all for watching. Please listen to this single, this Kyle Games single, if you like hearing that video game instrumental type beat. I definitely recommend it. Thank you for watching. I hope I got to some of the things that I wanted to. Subscribe to Shawn, that's the gaming channel. It's gonna be in the get it. It's gonna be in the description and the link in the. What am I doing? What am I doing in my life? It's gonna be in the description down below. It's gonna be pinned, and I think we're good. Thank you for watching. I don't know what the next video is gonna be. I really don't, actually. That's scary. I'll see y'all next time, and I'm out. Peace.